Hi everyone, it's Untitled Chapter here, and I just wanted to do a quick tutorial on how to make this little junk journal that I have. Everyone has been asking me this whole week how I did this. I would like to let you all know that this is my very first tutorial, so please bear with me because I do not know how to do these. I just like to craft at home, but I've had so many people asking me how to do this that I figured, well, okay, I'll try to put one of these together. So y'all just bear with me. Because I can tell you that technology and myself do not mix at all. So let's see what happens. Anyways, as you can see, number one, the lavender color is my color. I have lavender nail polish, lavender all through my house, lavender in my closet. Pretty much everything I wear is lavender. I'm called the purple lady because that's one of my favorite colors. And a lot of you mentioned how you love these colors as well. So we're all kindred spirits. I would also like to say, I don't know where I saw how to make this. I watch a lot of YouTube videos and tutorials, which I'm sure you all do as well. And I think I saw something on making these out of file folders on, I think it was called the Book Vandal shop. But I follow so many people that, you know, I could have seen it somewhere else. But usually what I do is like what many of you do is you see something you like, you take it and then you morph it to your own style or you add your own things. And that's kind of what I did with this one. And I am the type that likes to cram as much as I possibly can into each little junk journal. I like little hidden pockets, little hidden storage places, things like that. So I'm going to show you this one real quick. As you can see, it's made out of a file folder. And literally all you need for this is one file folder, 4 envelopes, 3 of one size, one a little bit bigger, and a few sheets of paper, and then maybe some scrapbook pages or some scraps that you have and some thread, and then whatever else you want to decorate with. So super easy, use up all your scraps. So this opens up and it folds out like this. And right away I have 4 pockets. I've got 2 in the front, 2 in the back. So I've got 2 tags here for journaling. And then 2 tags here, which again, I just used all my scraps on for journaling. Okay, get in there. There we go. And then this part opens up into 2 pockets, and one on each side. Oh, and I had this one open, but this on this pocket, I made another little junk journal, a little mini one that you can open up with this, you know, the little thread and button clasp, and then it opens up into another little mini junk journal. Then you can close it up and stick it back into this little pocket on the side right here. Okay, and then on the pocket I also have a little tuck spot for another journal card. And again, on this side, I have a little pocket for a journal card. Okay, so when this opens up, we have 2 more pockets here. So again, another tag, and oh, look at that. A tag within a tag, another little tuck spot with a tag, another journaling tag. Like I said, I like to hide as many things as I can. So that one goes here, and then you have another journaling tag. Okay, and then this is where the envelopes come in. This folds out like this, and this one flips open like this. Can y'all see that? Okay, so this one has a pocket in the top for a journaling tag or whatever else you would like to put in. I'm having issues with my pockets today. Oh, let me take that out. And then there's a journaling spot here, a journaling spot here. This flips open, so you have a journaling spot here. You could put pictures, flip this. There's a pocket up here, so you have another journaling tag. Again, made with a bunch of scraps. Just had so much fun making these. And then on this side, you have another pocket on the outer side, another journaling card there. Okay, let's see if I can get this guy in. Come on. There he goes. Okay, so this flips closed like this, And then this comes open. And then now you have all your journaling pages that I entered in. And what I did is I just sewed these in with some thread, super easy. And then when this flips open, again, you got 2 more pockets for journaling cards. And then of course, I had to put in another little teeny tiny pocket for a little tag that you could do something with. So I tried to cram as much as I could into this one little junk journal. So it all closes up like this. And then I have the little tie with some sari silk. And y'all, I don't know where I get all this stuff from. Probably the sari silk I know I got from Etsy, but I don't remember which company. I'd have to look that up. All of these things I've gotten, I don't know if any of you know about Peachy Cheap, but every night they come out with a new kit that you can order, like a discounted kit. So I know I got this paper from Peachy Cheap. A lot of it was just scraps that I had around the house through scrapbooking. I've been scrapbooking for like 20, 30 years, so I have a lot of scraps and a lot of material, things like that. And a good tip for getting material that I found, I have an let's see, it's a thrift store, but it's an outlet thrift store. So on Wednesdays, it's 25-cent days. So I can buy a whole dress or a whole skirt or something for 25 cents. And then what I'll do is I'll cut the skirts up or the material up for all my material. And that's how I get cheap material or cheap ribbon or thread or lace or things like that. So if any of you have a place like that near you, if you want to know where to find deals, I am the deal person. I'm considered the coupon queen in my area, but I can figure out how to get all this kind of stuff for free or practically free. So if you're ever looking for deals on how to get scrapbook things, how to get ribbon, how to get material, anything like that, come to me. But anyways, so let me show you real quick how to make this. And I'm not going to go into complete detail, but I will show you how you can throw one of these together on your own and make it your own, okay? So the first thing you're going to do is you need your file folder. And the way you want to do it is make sure that your tab is on the right-hand side, okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to fold this into the middle from both sides, but you don't want it to actually touch the middle. You want to get it like maybe just like kind of close to the middle, but not fully in the middle, because you want this to close easily and you don't want it to bunch all up, okay? So once you fold that, it's going to look like this, okay? It's going to look like this. Now, I know this might bother some of you, and it did bother me at first. One side is going to be shorter than the back side, but there's a couple things you can do with that. First thing, if you look here, the front is shorter than the back part, but when I put the lace on it, you can't really tell. Not only that, I liked having the back longer because I had bigger pockets on this side. I was able to do more on this side with the envelopes and put bigger pieces of journal paper on this side, and without them like crumpling up, you know, or getting caught in the fold. So I did like that. But one thing I did learn as I did this is, as you can see, I folded it right down the middle, and you have this little gap here depending on how much stuff you put in your journal, and you have to tie it closed. If you want to avoid that, one thing you can do is kind of make a little spine with your file folder. So you're gonna fold it a little bit like this. Do you see? So you're gonna, you know, do another fold. So before, your paper was short like this. If you do another fold and make a bigger spine like this, guess what? Now your paper is even. So if you like it, if you want it to be even and you don't want this big gap, you can do this and have like a little spine in the back, okay? So my next one, I might do that and see how it works. It might work a little bit better, and then I can add some more tuck spots and folders and things like that in my journal. You know, the more we can add, the better. Woohoo! Okay, so then as you noticed from your file folder, you're gonna have these little tabs right here and right here. Okay, well those bothered me. I did not like those. So what I did is I cut them off. See, look. So I cut them off. Cut those tabs right off. Okay, and make it straight. And then what I did is I took my my little corner puncher and I punched each corner like that. Okay, so punch every corner that you have, round it out if you want. If you don't want it, you can keep them straight. I like rounded corners. Okay, so that's what you would get. I didn't round these bottom corners yet, but I just wanted to show you. So round all your corners, and this is what it would look like with rounded corners. Okay, or you can keep it straight like this, and I kept it straight down here so you can see what it would look like without rounded corners. Okay, so that's your first step. Now, if you have a junk journal that you want to put your folder into, I did a quick one here for my junk journal. I put it in the center signature, and this one was just the file folder that opened up with some paper in it, no other extras. So if you want to do it this way, you want to measure how big your book is, how tall your book is, so you can make the folders that you need to fold up. So you want this part to measure the length of your book. If you're going to just do your own, like as a standalone, you can make this as big or as deep pockets as you want. So your next step is going to be to fold all this up. So you're going to have it all folded up. Ignore this little cut here. That was for demonstration. Okay, so you're going to fold this up. One thing that I've learned, if you don't have one of those, I don't know what they're called, the burnishing sticks or whatever, when you fold, if you have a back of a scissors, you can just rub the back of your scissors over the folds and it makes them just as tight as one of those burnishing sticks or whatever they're called. As you can see, I don't know all the terminology either. I just use what I use. Okay, so this is your next step. Okay, now to make the pockets, what you're going to do is you're going to cut. I just did this one. I'm going to do the middle one here. So you're going to cut a little bit to each side of the crease. And the reason for that, so you want this like little sliver to come out. So the reason for that is because when you fold these up, you don't want them getting caught in the crease. You want this to be able to fold and close without things getting all jammed up in the crease, if that makes any sense. So you just want to just cut just a little bit like that. Can you see that? Okay, for your folders. Now, this flap is going to fold backwards. This flap is going to fold backwards. But see, there's your pockets now for this side. And these two flaps are going to fold inwards. And there's your two pockets for the inner part. See, so now it comes up. You got two pockets here. This opens, and you got two pockets here. Okay? So there is your main part of the book. The next thing that you're going to want to do is you are going to, depending on what you want to do. Okay, so a lot of people show that they just glue their pockets in. So what I've found with the glue is over time, as you're putting tabs and tags in and out and pulling them in and out, sometimes those pockets come undone. So I really like sewing as much as possible. Now, I know I was never a sewer. Let me see if I can pull this in front of the camera. I got this little mini, I mean, it's not that big. It's a small sewing machine. I forgot what it's even called. I don't even know what it's called. It's got just numbers on it, but it's this, and of course it's purple. It's this little sewing machine from Amazon. I think it was like $49.95 or something like that, about $50. And Pink Paper Peppermints mentioned that she sews a lot. And so I watched her and I was like, I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna get this little sewing machine. And y'all, if you are not a sewer, I'll tell you, get one of these little small starter sewing machines and start trying, because I became addicted. Now I love sewing all my papers and I have so much fun. And it gives your junk journals, I don't know, I think it gives it a more finished look. So as you can see here, I sewed these little folders in, and I think they hold a lot better for tabs coming in and out and things like that. Okay, so if you can and if you want, you can sew, but you have to do it in a certain order on these books. So let me show you. The first thing you're going to do, if you want to sew lace onto the front, now you don't have to do it in this order. The reason why I'm saying that is because if you sew, if you start gluing paper in, let's say, and you start sewing things, your stitches will show up on the paper that you glued on the other side, versus if you sew first and then glue paper over it, your stitches won't show. For example, I sewed this before I glued this down. So see, you can't see any of the stitches on this side. Okay, if that makes sense. So I'll show you the order to do it. Okay, so the first thing I did was I opened this up, and if this is my front page, right here, this is my front page, I would sew this page first, if you can see that. So actually, I think what I did, yeah, for this one, I sewed this lace onto the front page. That was the very first thing I did. Oh, let's get this correct. Okay, so here's my book. This is where my lace is going to go. So I opened this up and I sewed the lace on here first. See, and on the back, the stitch would show through here. I opened this up and sewed the lace, so nothing got sewed. So I had a stitch coming through the back there, okay? And then what I did is I glued, let me see. Yep. Then I glued this front page over the lace so then you don't see the stitch, okay? And as well with everything, I ink everything up. And then the back page, I did the same. I just glued this page because there's no sewing involved on either side, okay? So if you want to sew these, if you want to sew a pocket for the front of this, like I did here, this is super easy. All you're gonna do is take your page, take your scrap page, whatever it is. See, I took this and I measured and I cut this out, and I used my little circle tab to make a little tab. So you can see I made a little circle tab. And so what I always do is if I'm going to put anything on this page, like this stuff, I had my little piece of paper, I had this separate, and then I would sew this stuff on to the page with my sewing machine. Then I would take this whole piece and I would sew it onto here. It's super easy. So before you start gluing these or sewing these in, you're gonna sew your first pocket on here, okay? And then what I did do is I did glue the second pocket. So after this part was sewed onto here, I did take glue and glue this pocket down. Remember, only glue 3 sides so you can stick something in here, okay? I'm hoping this makes sense. But anyway, so you just got to kind of figure out where you want to do your sewing. And then, so what I would do my sewing on all the pockets. So since they're all flaps, I would just take each pocket, figure out what I'm going to put on the top, you know, and then sew this part. So then there's no back stitches shown. And then when I glue it, you're not going to see the sewing pieces, if that makes sense, so all the extra threads and stuff. I do like having threads like sticking out like this. I like that look, so I let them stick out. I don't cut them all off. So I do like that. Okay, so what I did is I sewed an extra piece onto this flap right here, onto this flap right here, and then onto both the inside flaps. See, right here and right here. I sewed those. And those are super easy to sew because then you just take the little flap, sew it on, and then you're done. Okay, and then the other thing I did sew was the pockets on the side. So on those, you're going to sew the pocket here. So you're going to take this flap, sew your pocket here, and then you're going to decorate this flap with whatever paper that you want. As you can see, here's my pocket on this side, and then I decorate it. Now I would say before you glue these folders down, or these little, you know, before you fold these flaps down, you're going to want to take whatever scrap paper and decorate this first, because it's easier to decorate it before you have to like start trying to tuck it down here. So I just, you know, went to about here with my paper, with my decorative paper here, if you can see. I went just a little bit below here and glued it all and did what I was gonna do, and then I would glue this once I was all done. So you wanna kind of keep this all open and free before, and get the whole thing decorated, both sides, before you start gluing down your final pieces, if that makes sense. Okay? So to add, let me do this. So if you want to add these, the first thing you want to do is add your paper. So you want to get any kind of paper you have. I have, it's like this little parchment type paper with like the frayed edges already, which I love, and then I have to fray these edges. But you're going to figure out where your center is in your book and make sure that this part isn't jammed up into this, so when it folds shut, so you might have to trim your paper a little. And then all I did, so once this is folded, and you want to measure it to however high, if you have longer pieces of paper, you can use longer pieces. I liked this size. So you go to your middle, and then all I did was punch 3 holes. So like one up here, one down here, and one in the middle with my little punchy stick. Let's see, I call it my punchy stick. I don't even know what it's called. Whatever this is, you know, punch it through. And then I took my thread. Oop, there it goes. I took my thread, and I like the lavender color. And so I come up through the top one, go down through the middle, pull it out, go down to the bottom one, pull it through, go through the middle, and then I just tied it back here, if you can see. I just tied it. And I was going to put beads on here. You can put beads on, like I had a lot of extra string, so I was gonna put some beads on here and do that. I just never got around to it. And then I kind of liked just having this string hanging. I liked that because I had a lot going on in the front here. So I just liked having the little strings. But you can do whatever you want with that. Okay, so then once you get this in, after all these were, you know, glued or sewed in, however way you want to do it, you can even sew these in, sew the top part, then sew the side part. You can do whatever you want, and then glue all your paper over all this so it hides all the stitch marks if you don't want those to show. Then after you have all of this, you know, stitched and put in, then you're going to put the paper in. Okay, so now you're going to have all of this in your book, and it's going to look like this. Your folders, right? So this is what it looks like without this. So your paper will be in, right? Paper's in. Okay. So now if you want to add these envelopes, it is super easy. All it is, you take one big envelope, one bigger one, and that one is going to get glued or sewed, whichever you like, to this front page. So you want to find an envelope that's going to fit on your page. This one's a little bit big. Well, it might just fit. So you're gonna glue this envelope to that front page, but not yet. You're gonna take and assemble all your envelopes first. So you want to take the envelope and then have 3 smaller envelopes pretty much all these are the same size. This envelope, this little flap is going to get glued to the back of this envelope. So it opens up like this. This envelope is going to get glued to the back the same way. All right, so it opens up like this. And then this envelope, you're gonna glue the flap to the back of this envelope. So then, let's get this situated. Wait, let me do this right. Let me do this the correct way. No, you're gonna glue it like this. Okay, this goes here. And this one is gonna hook in like this. So it's gonna glue to the back of this envelope, okay? So when you open it, it'll flip open like this. This will be, I hope this is making sense to y'all. So this, it's gonna open like that. It's gonna open like this. So this one, the flap was glued to the back of this envelope, and this flap was glued to this side of the envelope. This envelope's flap was glued to this side. So it flips open like this, okay? Now, as you see, the openings on these envelopes were where the flaps were, right? So all I did, if I wanted a pocket, I would just cut like a small sliver off the top here. So on this envelope, I just cut the small sliver off this top, made my little hole right here, and now I have a pocket coming at the top. This one I kept closed. So this is a journal card on this side and on this side. So this envelope I didn't even use as a pocket, just as a journaling card. This envelope, remember the flap was over here, so the opening was here. I just closed that opening, like glued it down, just down here, because you want to keep this part open. And then I cut a little sliver off this side, made my half circle, so then I have an opening on this side. And then this envelope, I cut again a little strip off the top, so I would have the opening at the top. So wherever you want the opening on your envelope, that's where you would cut it open, if that makes sense. And then once you get all of this assembled like this, then you can decorate it however you want. So all I did was take scraps of paper and ink them all up and decorate them. I did the front, and then I would do the back. You can see. Again, I'm on all my envelopes, front and back, and then just the front on this envelope, because this envelope got glued to the first piece of paper. Okay, so then after I finished all this, so then your book's pretty much together. You have this glued here, these envelopes all glued together like this. These are all together, and then you just start decorating your book. This paper is not. This envelope was a little bit bigger, but when this closed, you know, this would close and this would close, and depending if you had the little back spine or whatever, so you would have that. Then you can decorate it and add as much as you want. Then you can start adding tags and decorating your tags, decorating the things that you would put in your envelopes. I'm trying to think. This little doodad is just one of those button and lace closures. I did one on each side, and I just measured this so it would fit in this, slide into this little pocket on the side. And then I had an extra little journal in here. Okay? But it's as easy as that. I mean, it doesn't take, it doesn't take a lot of time. Just get creative with it. I hope you have fun with it. If you have any questions, if I didn't explain something well enough or to your satisfaction, or you had some other questions on how to do this, please let me know. I just had so much fun making this. And you can take this idea and run with it and make it your own and do whatever you want to do. And I would love to see what you all come up with. I would love to see your finished journals and see what you do. And so, you know, definitely let me know if you finish one or if this was helpful at all. But, you know, thank you all for watching. I hope you have a blessed day, and maybe we'll see each other again sometime in the future. So thank you all so much. Thank you for watching, and see y'all later. Bye-bye.